Hi, do you have a dog that seems to be extra sensitive? Maybe you've noticed that they're really sensitive to your emotions. Maybe they get overwhelmed and overstimulated easily by their environment. Today, I'll be having an intuitive chat with dogs as a collective, meaning whoever wants to step up to the mic and answer. And I'll be talking with them about sensitive dogs, how we can better understand them and support them. I'm your host, Sarah Ann Reed, holistic dog trainer and animal communicator, and you're listening to Fluent in Canine. Let's start this conversation. Okay, I see a lot of dogs stepping up to the mic. There's so many dogs that are in the room. Okay, and there's a spokesperson, a spokesdog, I should say. Okay, and they're wanting me to describe. Okay. This dog, it's so cute. The Great Pyrenees male, and he's going to be the spokes dog today for all of the sensitive dogs who really they're struggling to be heard and understood. Okay. What would you like to talk about today? There are so many of us who are really misunderstood. We're we're so very sensitive to our environment. And that means not just the home that we live in and the energy of the home, how the home feels to us, but also how the home environment feels to our family members, our human family members. If someone's home is very cluttered and this is affecting the person because they do better when everything's organized and clean and there's more open space and everything has its place. If the home does not feel like that and the home feels disorganized, cluttered, then the person feels usually overwhelmed, has a hard time focusing sometimes, might even feel down or depressed because the flow isn't right in the home. And they're saying if you are affected by your home environment and impacted negatively, that affects us too. Okay. And it's not just the furniture, the belongings in the home, but also how you're feeling, the energy that you're exuding. And if your home is cluttered, your mind tends to be cluttered too, and it's harder for you to have clarity with your thoughts. It's harder for you to feel joyful. It's harder for you to feel playful, to feel grounded, to feel connected to yourself. And all of that affects our relationship with you. Okay. And if it's affecting the other human family members, then that impacts us as well. Whenever you are feeling disconnected from yourself, from your truth, from a place of feeling loved, supported, seen, grounded, on your path, if you're feeling disconnected from that, we feel that in you, and we desperately try to get your attention, try to help you. And this is where the miscommunication comes in. If you're already feeling really overwhelmed, feeling stressed at work, feeling overwhelmed at home, and even though you might have time, you just don't have the mental, emotional energy to take care of things and get things more streamlined, get things more organized so that you can feel better, and you're beating yourself up. We will do everything we can to get your attention, even if we get in trouble for it. And so this sweet boy, this sweet dog is showing me some examples of this. If your dog, yes, is constantly trying to get your attention and they're barking at you, they're looking at you and they're barking and they're barking and they're barking, and you don't understand why, and it becomes so frustrating for you that you feel your stress level rising, you might raise your voice, you might be really stern with them, you might lose your patience with us. He says, okay, we're not barking to increase your stress level. We're barking to try and get your attention and let you know that we see your truth, we see your potential, and we're trying to let you know that even if you don't feel like it, if you can just work on a little bit of organizing in one room, you'll start to feel better, and then you'll feel more motivated to organize more. Okay, we also might bring our toy over or a ball over and continue to drop it at your feet over and over and over and over and over. And you may find this so frustrating because you just want some peace and quiet. But what we're communicating with you then is to just relax, to stop feeling stressed for a little while, give yourself permission to take a break and play with us. Because if you can get into a playful state with us, you will switch off from being stressed for a little while. Yes, and this is our way of trying to help you realize that you don't have to feel stressed out all the time. You can take a break from your concerns and feel joyful. We're trying to help you shift your perspective. And if you can feel joyful and playful with us, feel more lighthearted, our hope is that you will start to look for positives, for joy in other areas of your life. Okay. Oh, he's so sweet. He's saying, I'm so wise. He's just this beautiful dog. He's got the most amazing, gorgeous coat. And he's very proud. He's very proud. He's very wise. And he's saying, I'm a teacher. I'm here to talk for all of us dogs that feel misunderstood. Okay. He's sharing another example. If we have a hard time settling down and you think, oh my gosh, my dog is driving me nuts. They just won't stop. They're just pacing all the time. They won't relax. And you try to make us stay on our bed. You try to make us be calm, and you're feeling stressed out. There's no way that we can relax and stay on our dog bed, even though we would like to please you. We can't because we're so affected by your stressed out energy. Okay. And he's wanting me to explain it like this. Whatever you are feeling, if you're feeling disconnected from your truth, from joy, from groundedness, from following your purpose, from seeing how wonderful you are, just as you are, we feel this disjointed energy from you, and this vibration emanates from you, and you vibrate this disconnected, disjointed energy at least like 3 to 4 feet outside of your physical body. And we're living with you, so we feel all of this from you. And when we're extra sensitive, when we're an extra sensitive dog, a lot of us will absorb that stress, that energy to try to lighten the load for you. But then we're already feeling stressed because we're living with you. We're absorbing a lot of your stress to try to help you. And then we don't know what to do with it. And then we're appearing to be more stressed ourselves. And then usually we get in trouble for it. Okay. What else would you like to share? Okay. And he's saying it's not just the example of the home, right? It might be your mind that feels overwhelmed. You might have a very stressful job and you have a very difficult time shutting it off. You come home from work, you're still thinking about it, you're stressed about it, and you bring it into the evening, you bring it into the weekend, and you don't give yourself a break. Okay. He's saying that really affects us. So we might appear to be high strung. We might have a hard time settling. We might really appear to be extra protective, barking at a lot of things, bolting through the door, pulling on the leash, because from our perspective, you seem to be stressed out all the time, which means that you're in fight or flight mode. And that for us means that we have to step up and be more protective of you because you're in survival mode, which means, yeah, we are too. And we will do whatever we can to try to lighten the load for you, including barking when anyone goes past, being extra vigilant. And a lot of times we're misunderstood because you don't understand that we're actually trying to help you. It just becomes more frustrating for you and more overwhelming because you already have so much on your plate. Okay. When we are extra sensitive, that means we're extra sensitive to the way that you interact with us. You don't have to raise your voice. You can talk to us with a normal tone and we will still hear you. We will actually hear you more than if you raise your voice and you try to be stern with us. Because if we're extra sensitive, a lot of times, even if you're not upset with us or mad at us, if you raise your voice, if you're very stern, we don't know how to handle that. And we might either kind of shrink back into ourselves, or it might escalate our energy because we're just reflecting back the energy and the emotion that we're feeling from you, and we don't know how to handle it. And then we make even more mistakes. And the way that we respond to you depends on our history, depends on our personality, how we learn, what makes us stressed and afraid, and how we deal with it. Okay. So if you can within yourself find a place of being calm, he's showing like a calm lake. If you can find a place of being centered and grounded within yourself, and then interact with us, we will respond so much better because we'll feel this calm, grounded, confident energy from you. And it will be easier for us to interact with you. It'll be easier for us to be with you. We won't need to absorb stressful energy because you're not exuding that. So it won't add to the anxiety that we're already feeling. And we'll be more likely to look to you to guide us because you seem like a guardian that we can trust and believe in and is grounded in that feeling of I'm your guardian. Okay. What else would you like to share about this? When you talk to us with a calm, friendly tone, please know that we always want to please you. Even if we struggle following a request that you've given us, when you ask us to do something, even if we don't respond, it's not because we're being defiant. It's either because we struggle with self-control or we're so zoned in to what we feel like we need to do, protecting, that we don't hear you. Or because you seem really frazzled and out of control and we just don't feel like we can trust you. So we're going to handle whatever problem we think we need to before we respond to you. Or it may be that you're so upset that we don't really feel comfortable coming towards you when you're exuding that stressed out energy because we don't want to get in trouble. So please know that it's not just the words that you speak to us, but it's the tone of voice that you use that is so important. So important. And the energy that you're exuding is equally important. If you don't expect that we can make a good choice and you're just replaying in your mind every time we made a mistake, that's like sending us a video of that experience and the mistakes that we made, quote unquote, mistakes that we made, and asking us to repeat them. If you're expecting us to continue to make the same mistake, then we will. Okay, and he wants me to share this. If you would like us to behave differently, first you need to believe that we can. And it's also very helpful if you can imagine the best case scenario. Okay, so you imagine how you would like us to behave in that situation. And you're not only, when you're imagining this, okay, before you imagine this, get to a place of feeling calm, grounded, centered. And then when you imagine this, imagine the way that our body looks. How are we holding ourselves? How does our body look? What is the behavior that we're doing? And what is the emotion that we're feeling? Imagine all of that in the scenario and imagine, how are you standing? Are you feeling calm and grounded and confident? What are you expecting? What is your interaction with us? And the more that you can send us this video, if you will, of us making good choices in the scenario, it's like sending us the message of what you would like us to do, and it will be easier for us to make a good choice in the future. And he's saying it's not like magic, right? You need to replay it over and over and over in your mind. Like someone that plays sports, they're not going to hit a home run on the first time, probably. They're going to need to know how to stand, how to hold the bat, how to swing, where to aim, all of those things. The more that you run through the scenario, the easier it is for us to know how to be in different situations. That will really, really help us running through the scenario. And if you have labeled us as the difficult dog, or the sensitive dog, or the traumatized dog, or the shy dog, whatever label you have given us, we will live up to it. So be very, very careful. Okay, he's saying if you know that the label that you have given us is not going to be supportive of the behavior that you would like us to have, of the experience of feelings that you would like us to have, change the label. Because if you label us as the sensitive dog, what does that mean to you? Does that mean that you have confidence in us? Does that mean that you expect us to be shy and insecure in every situation? Because if it does, you want to change the label, right? And what, okay, he's giving me an example. The aware dog, right? Aware would be better than sensitive, because a dog who is extra sensitive to energy, emotions, environment, expectations is always going to be that way, right? And they can be aware, but if you're exuding this calm, confident, I believe in you, I trust in you energy, then the dog who is sensitive will feel that confidence in you, and they will feel more confident within themselves. And he's saying we can feel more confident within ourselves if you believe in us. If you send us these messages of, I know that you can do this, you just need my help. I know that you can do this, you just need to experience this more often. And also not pushing us until we're ready. Don't throw us in the deep end, he says. Let us dip our toe in the pool first, right? And get comfortable with things slowly. And okay, and he wants me to share this as well. Every dog can handle different things. Some dogs that get overwhelmed easily, some dogs that are labeled as sensitive or overreactive or out of control, really can't handle certain situations. Just like some people do not want to go to a big party with new people where they've never met anyone before, and other people thrive in a situation like that because they're a social butterfly. Some dogs are the version of the person who would rather stay home by themselves and read a book than go to a party and meet a bunch of new people. Okay. And so for dogs like this who are extra sensitive to energy, emotions, environment, expectations, they may always get overwhelmed with too much stimulus going on. It may be easier for them to just have another dog over to play in the backyard or go on a walk with a friend out in the woods rather than taking them to the dog park. It might even be too overwhelming for them to go to doggy daycare with all of the other dogs there. They may prefer to stay home and play fetch with you in the yard, or play hide and seek in the house, play puzzle games with you in the living room, right? Because otherwise they just get overstimulated and they don't know how to handle it. Dogs can get also overwhelmed with intense emotions, and not just what we think of as negative emotions. Dogs can get overwhelmed with excitement too, like everyone watching a football game and getting really wound up. That can be very overwhelming for some dogs, and they just want to run and hide in the closet. And if you have a dog like that gets overwhelmed with a lot of heightened emotion, you just go to someone else's house to watch the football game so that your dog doesn't need to be exposed to it. Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to share about dogs that are usually mislabeled? Okay. Dogs who are extra sensitive to energy, emotions, environment are often labeled as out of control. And it's not that they're out of control, it's that they're in an environment that is overwhelming for them. Either there's too many people, maybe too many other animals in the home, maybe that they're overwhelmed with no other animals in the home, and maybe it's the humans that they're living with that are stressed out and really hype, or with maybe children that are running around all the time, and that's too much for the dog, right? And they don't know how to manage it. So dogs that struggle in situations like this really need help by giving them a safe place to go. Maybe you have a crate available in the home and the door just stays open and they can go in and take a break from everything in the crate for a while. And if you know that it's your emotional state, you practice self-care. You practice creating more balance in your life, doing whatever you can to feel better yourself so that your dog doesn't feel overwhelmed with what you're going through. Okay. If your dog just gets so wound up when you take them to the dog park and they're out of control, and it takes them a really long time to wind down after they come home, maybe the dog park isn't the best idea for your dog. They might do better going on a walk by themselves or playing fetch in the yard with you, because they get overstimulated. And he's saying a lot of dogs that get overstimulated easily can have a hard time bringing that energy back down and really need help grounding their energy. And you can do that by going and sitting in your backyard and just sitting with your dog on the ground, right? Really grounding their energy, just sitting with them quietly. If you can take time in the day to go outside and just ground with them, and if it's too cold out or too hot out, you can sit in the home with them, call them up onto the couch or sit on their dog bed with them, and just focus on creating calmness and a grounded feeling within yourself, and then sharing this grounded energy with your dog. So when you're giving them loves and affection, imagine using your hands as a way to beam this energy to them. So as you're giving them love and affection, you're imagining this calm, grounded energy exuding from you as you're petting them, and this calm, grounded energy being absorbed by your dog. That will really help them. Also, paying attention to what you're thinking. Really focus on shutting off work on your way home. And if you work from home, and you have a certain room that you work in, close that door, put a close sign on it if you need to remind yourself that you're shutting off work, and really give yourself a transitional time. So maybe you finish work and you have 20, 30 minutes to yourself to read a book, to completely disconnect from work, to do something, to meditate. Maybe you're preparing dinner. You're doing something to transition your mind from work to the evening, so that when you do spend time with your dog and play with your dog that evening, or take them out on a walk, you're not busy in your mind. You're able to be very present and focused and grounded with them. Really, really important. Okay, and he's saying this is something that so many people struggle with. Everyone is so busy with all of their responsibilities at work, at home, family members, with the house, with the yard, with the errands, with all of the things that you need to do, that it's very important to carve out time for self-care. Very, very important to carve out this time, to schedule time every week to meet with a friend in person and do something fun. Or if you don't have any friends that live locally, to schedule time to talk to a friend on the phone, and maybe take yourself out to a coffee shop and talk to them on the phone while you're enjoying a coffee out, right? Or going on a walk by yourself without your dog, so that you can just go as slow as you want to or as fast as you want to, and really drink in the nature around you. Allow that to ground you. Or give yourself permission to go into the bathroom, have a bubble bath with candles, and shut that bathroom door and let everyone know that you are off limits for the next hour, like taking a mini vacation. Whatever you need to do for yourself, so that you carve out time for you, for self-care. Okay, and he's saying it's very, very important. It's more important than getting everything on your to-do list done, because that to-do list will never end. You're always going to have more things to do. Don't put off your self-care. And the dogs are saying this is one of the most important things that we want you to hear, is that if you are not taking care of yourself, if you're sacrificing what you need to do for yourself in order to take care of us, that doesn't help us. It's much better for us to have a walk that's half as long and go on a walk with you when you're feeling calm and grounded and you're feeling good and balanced within yourself. If you need to take 30 minutes for yourself to meditate or read a book or whatever you need to do, or just relax in the backyard for a little while, and then take us on a walk, and instead of being an hour walk, it's only a 30-minute walk, we would much rather that, because when we walk with you, we have a completely different experience, and so do you. We're now walking with our mom or dad that is feeling relaxed and grounded and can really be present with us. And that's what we want most of all. We want you to be present with us. We want you to see us, to really see us, to not be thinking about the 5 things on your to-do list while you're on a walk with us, or on the phone while you're on a walk with us. We want you to be present with us when we do have that time together. That will really help us. That will really, really help us. Is there anything else that you would like to share? Okay, it feels like he's ready to wrap things up. So he just wants me to give a quick overview of the important things to remember for dogs who are more sensitive. And this really goes for any dog. But dogs who are more sensitive to energies, emotion, environment, be very aware of what we can and can't handle. Don't purposely overstimulate us and wonder why we're struggling. Take us to situations that make it easier for us to get it right, that aren't overwhelming. Be very aware of your tone of voice with us. You don't need to raise your voice to get our attention. We'll actually listen much better if you talk to us with a calm, grounded tone. Make sure that you're practicing self-care. Have a definition of being at work and shutting off work so that you can enjoy the rest of your day, so that you can have balance in your life. And when you spend time with us, please be present with us. That is what we want most of all. And know that if we are frustrating you, we're not doing it on purpose. We're doing it because we ourselves are struggling. And we don't know how to have self-control. We need help learning how to have self-control. But if everything seems chaotic around us, the energy, the emotions, the environment, it's really hard for us to have that self-control. Okay. He's saying, thank you so much for allowing me to be the spokes dog for all of those sensitive dogs out there. Thank you for sharing everything. I really appreciate it. I hope that this has been very insightful. It's been a fun conversation for me to have, and I hope that you've maybe learned a few new things that you can implement with your dog and have a deeper understanding as to some of the behaviors that your dog is doing, why they're doing them, and how to help them. You've been listening to Fluent in Canine. Until next time.